Let us talk about extraordinary words. We have reached the 28th section on Dzogchen. This number corresponds to, here for example, for each pith instruction, it's like when His Holiness was 28 years old. Each section corresponds to a specific age of His Holiness. The supremacy of Dzogchen. In the past, it could be said that those who attained the rainbow body emerged endlessly. In the Tibetan region, there are some monasteries where there were 100,000 rainbow body accomplishers. There are various histories. Not only that, during the lifetime of the first Dzogchen Rinpoche alone, 13 rainbow body accomplishers appeared. Here at our Larung Gar, in Dzogchen Rinpoche's, in the biography I previously translated, it seems I counted them at the time, and I couldn't count all 13, but there were still many. Some were mentioned in the verses, some were in the prose sections. There were many mentions of so-and-so attaining the rainbow body. You can take a look yourselves when the time comes. Therefore, in this place of ours, 13 rainbow body accomplishers. Right here at Larung Gar, it still is. Let's see if we will have any more rainbow body accomplishers. Nowadays, some genuine practitioners in the Tibetan region also have their bodies completely dissolve into light to varying degrees. Some might fly away, some, after completing a sock offering, depart directly for Pure Lands. Some depart for the Pure Land of ultimate bliss, taking their retinue with them, and so on. There are various different histories. In ancient times, when practitioners passed away, their bodies would shrink to the size of a plate, or to only half the size of their original body. Many originally had very tall and large bodies, but ultimately they were placed on a small plate for cremation. There are quite a lot of cases like this. This kind of situation is common. I previously wrote something called A Brief Explanation of Vajrayana Rainbow Body Accomplishment. There are many examples in there, and I have spoken about some. Thinking of this, it seems the time to propagate the Dzogchen teachings has truly ripened. Actually, it's not just the people here. People in the West also have great faith in Dzogchen. Didn't Guru Mipham Rinpoche say this personally? Does the Vajrayana Nyingma school have unique teachings? Generally speaking, they are the three yogas. That is to say, the unique special teachings of the Nyingma school, especially the Dzogchen teachings, Mahayoga, Anuyoga, and Ati-yoga. These are the Nyingma school's teachings of immense blessings and immense accomplishment. That day, Mipham Rinpoche also said, to encounter Padmasambhava and the Dzogchen teachings is extremely rare and a cause for great joy, especially when we encounter Dzogchen. His Holiness said, through teaching, I have also taken what I know and for the most part dedicated all my heart and effort to explain it to you clearly. His Holiness indeed taught a great deal throughout his life. The Nying Tikyabzi, the 7 treasuries, including the flight of Garuda and the treasury of Dharmadhatu. Actually, I originally thought about this as well, regarding His Holiness's most important Dzogchen teachings in this human realm. On the one hand, could the majority of them be translated? And for another part, could they be transmitted to people with the karmic connection now, to those who have not yet departed this world? Basically, our wishes have been fulfilled. I personally feel that the most profound teachings transmitted by His Holiness, basically 90% of them have already been transmitted. He also left these Dharma texts for everyone. Whether one can read them and whether one can attain accomplishment relies on one's own faith and karmic connection. You should also read them carefully to see if you have truly comprehended them. If I repeatedly explain them, giving one example to illustrate others, a few individuals might understand Dzogchen a little better. His Holiness indeed taught a lot. Sometimes, when teaching Madhyamaka, he would end up teaching Dzogchen. Even if you cannot fully understand it, as long as you have not generated wicked, wrong views toward the true Dharma and the Guru, then relying on the inconceivable karmic latencies of the true Dharma, you will encounter Dzogchen in this life or the next. As for future lives, you will also encounter these teachings at the age of 15 or 25. Some say it's before the age of 25. Generally, when it says 15 or 25 here, it probably means between the ages of 15 and 25. But that's how it is written in Tibetan. The meaning might be. I don't know how they compiled it later. I didn't have the audio for some parts at the time either. If there were audio, I'd want to listen to it. I heard that when the Dharma Assembly publication group compiled it, several people were working on it. So sometimes their styles are a bit different. When translating, I have some doubts. In some places, perhaps when they were compiling the Tibetan text, there were slight differences. Logically speaking, encountering the Dzogchen teachings before the age of 25, relying on this human identity, it is impossible not to be liberated. As for you who possess good karmic connections, see if you have understood these teachings. These Dzogchen teachings. Let me explain a little more. The realization of Dzogchen relies heavily on pith instructions. We do not know how much longer we can live in this world. This is how His Holiness spoke at the time. Indeed, everything is impermanent. None of us sitting here have any certainty either. We don't know how long we will be in this samsara or how much longer we can live in this world. Therefore, we must put great effort into meditating on the rarity of human life with its freedoms and advantages, and on death and impermanence. First, one should build a solid foundation with the preliminaries. This is very important. Then, after studying the preliminaries, actually before studying Dzogchen later on, it might be better to study the Shurangama Sutra. Before Dzogchen, if you have studied the Shurangama Sutra, then perhaps many realizations in Dzogchen will come easily. Before Dzogchen, after studying the Shurangama Sutra and the Vimalakirti Sutra, and then beginning to study the Guyagarbha Tantra, studying Dzogchen afterward might be easier to accept. Also, after completing the preliminaries, many people need to study moral discipline. The nun side is a bit better in this regard. On the monk's side, I don't know how many study discipline. Many people. Perhaps we need to emphasize moral discipline more in the future. Otherwise, even though one is ordained, if one hasn't studied discipline first, like in certain specific schools and certain specific Dharma centers, discipline is studied later. His Holiness said that if discipline is studied later, by the time you study discipline, you will have already broken all your vows. You would only realize it then. Therefore, generally speaking, the preliminaries come first, followed by studying discipline. This sequence is very good. Speaking of diligently practicing the law of karma, some people might say there is no value in practicing it, that the preliminaries, the law of karma, these have no value, and that one must practice Dzogchen instead. His Holiness said, the so-called Dzogchen truly cannot be comprehended so easily. This Dzogchen, look, Mipham Rinpoche said this. In the Beacon of Certainty it says, the great wise accomplishers of India practiced the meaning diligently for a long time. How strange. A fool claims to realize it in an instant. This brings rise to doubt. These great accomplishers of India, through a very long period of relying on their gurus and practicing, finally attained realization. But some foolish people among us say, I met a guru and I was enlightened in an instant. I heard such, and I immediately realized Dzogchen. Dzogchen is probably not that simple. For example, Vimalamitra, Jnana Sutra, and others, the great Indian Panditas possessing wisdom and accomplishment, all knew that the only path to realization is relying on a spiritual friend. For instance, someone like Jnana Sutra for about 9 years relied on his guru with the 3 ways of pleasing. During that period, practice was not the most important thing. Rather, pleasing the guru served as the foundation for guruing the pith instructions. That's how he was at the time. For them, they first listened to and contemplated the teachings, and then practiced year after year, just as it was for Milarepa. Therefore, one must rely on a guru for a very long time and study Dzogchen before one can attain realization. For instance, Patrul Rinpoche practiced the preliminaries 25 times. If Patrul Rinpoche did it 25 times, then for us, even just once is merely completing the numbers, not particularly. And you still go around claiming, I have realized Dzogchen everywhere. Perhaps some people have realized it, but if you have realized it, do not be in a hurry to tell others anything. The so-called Dzogchen is not something that can be realized in a short amount of time, nor does it mean that after realization, one's practice will immediately result in liberation. Because it is the pinnacle of the 9 jhanas, generating this state is extremely difficult. In order to generate the state of Dzogchen first, let us see whether we have an unfabricated compassion toward all sentient beings without bias. Some people say, have I attained realization or not? Please verify this for me. Look at me. Do you think I'm enlightened? But towards unbiased sentient beings, if you generate unfabricated bodhicitta, unfabricated, completely natural, not pretending at all towards unbiased sentient beings, towards all sentient beings, not just generating compassion for your loved ones while harming your enemies when you see them, that is not called compassion. Towards all gurus without bias, have you cut off wrong views and generated genuine faith? Towards all gurus. If you believe that your root guru is a true Buddha, just like when Lord Gampopa said to Milarepa, "When can I accept disciples? When the time comes that you see me, your old father, as exactly like a Buddha, you may go and accept disciples then. When you are fully enlightened, then go and accept disciples." That was what was said at the time. Therefore, seeing the Guru as a Buddha, truly having the same faith in the Guru as you would in a Buddha, then after that, you must have no doubts about his teachings and rely on a solitary place to practice. When it is like this, only then can you attain realization, and only then can you attain the state of Dzogchen. All right.
Bandara